this anymore. Like, okay, you're right. I'll just get up earlier.
You mean go sleep so early or go so late?
Can't go to sleep so late.
You should go sleep allow yourself.
All right.
Why don't you go to sleep? Get up early.
We'll talk about this later, okay?
Yeah.
Are you trying to psychoanalyze this guy?
We're live.
Not gonna work.
Take a lot longer than 5 minutes.
All right. Today's Daf is Daf Kuf Yud Zayin. We're starting from a Mishnah. We have an unbelievable guest from New York. Ruben thought I was talking about him, but I was. Yeah. Straight from Nachal Noam too, and from New York. We have the Rabbi Feiner himself. Yeah, and you know the dentist, Feiner, Daniel Feiner. Eitan Feiner. Everybody knows Eitan Feiner. Okay, and I know Tzvi Feiner. Anyways, we go way back. And his daughter is the famous. What's her name again? Tarian. She gives a lot of shiurim. All right, fine. But Ruvain was out for a while because of his baby. Baruch Hashem, we have him back. Hopefully we keep him. Rabbi Yisai, be on top of him, make sure he comes back. All right. Says the Mishnah. We have in the Torah talks about, oh, Yeshua's not here. That's who we're missing. Okay. Coffee guy himself. Yeah. Yeshua, we miss you if you're watching. Nobody got text from him this morning? What? Oh boy. But Noam has the key. We got and Rabbi Schoenberg, you started the coffee? All right. You should be okay.
Yeshua, where are you?
Okay. Fine. We have in the different psukim, all read yesterday in yesterday's parsha. The coincidences here are one of a kind. I don't know if there's like 10 things, or I didn't count. There's a lot of things. The pasuk says in Vayikra, it talks about chaylev. Chaylev are the fats that are asur, and the punishment for eating it is kares. 2 psukim later it talks about dam, or 1 pasuk later it talks about dam. Dam, as we know, is also asur, isur kares. So our Mishnah is just saying, what is the difference between chaylev and dam? Is there a difference? They're both kares, they're both in the same parsha, 1 pasuk after another. What are the differences? Says the Mishnah, chomer b'chaylev mebedam, v'chomer b'dam b'chaylev. These 2 things are also in this week's parsha, the concept of dam, although these psukim specifically are not, but the whole concept of chaylev are in our parsha. What's the stringency that chaylev has that dam doesn't have? Chomer b'chaylev shachaylev mayalim boy. So if you were to use the fats that are asur, even inadvertently, b'shoigeg, you are chayiv a carbon, a sham ilois, and you have to add 1/5 of the value of whatever you used. But if you use blood of a carbon or whatever, that's fine. You don't, not fine, but you're not over on anything. V'chayovim alav mishum pigul v'noiser v'tameh. So we were discussing for the last few days or weeks the concept of isur chalal isur. Over here you have the isur of pigul. The kohen, while he was shechting the carbon, going back to zvachim menachas, he thought about bringing the parts of the animal onto the mizbeach at a later date than he was allowed to. Let's say he had to bring it onto the mizbeach in 24 hours. He did it. He thought in his head he's going to do it next week, and he went ahead and he ate that piece of meat. He's chayiv kares. But if he ate the piece of meat and the piece of meat was chaylev, so now you have 2 isurim. You have chaylev and pigul, isur chalal isur. You're chayiv 2 times. So if you did it by accident, you chayiv 2 korbanos.
You said a pigul is if he intended to be makrif the carbon after this month. I thought pigul is if he intended to eat the carbon after this month.
No, both. We learned the whole Masech, eating himself physically and the mizbeach eating. Both. Either way, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, pigul is both. Him eating, the mizbeach eating, makrivit, something new. No, we worked on it for a year. It's there, trust me. Pigul, noisar, The Tomei Noisar, the Torah says you can't leave it over after it's a lot of time. You left it over, and then you ate this piece of chaylev that you left over. So now you have over two Yisurim, Noisar and chaylev. The Tomei means, and he himself is Tomei, Tumas Haguf, his body is Tomei, and he eats it, he's chayiv kars just because he's Tomei, but he's also chayiv kars because it's a piece of chaylev. So he's chayiv 2 times. If he did it inadvertently, he's chayiv 2 korbanos. Masha'enkim bedam. There's no pigul in dam. There's no noiser and tomei. V'chomer bedam. And where is dam different than chaylev? Shadam noyeg bebehema v'chaya v'oiv bein tmei v'bein toirim. There's no creature in the world that its blood is mutter. So even the blood of a lion, the blood of a pig, is all aser. But chaylev, ein noyeg elo bebehema toir belvad. Chaylev is very, very restricted to just one type of animal: cows, goats, and sheep. That's it. But the chaylev of a kosher deer is mutter, and certainly the chaylev of a lion, you're not over on chaylev.
Yeah, but if you were to have a treif animal and its blood, you'd have 2 different Yisurim.
You're talking about just tomei and blood, tomei blood?
No, yeah, from a tomei animal.
No,
Like a pig.
no. That's what we said. The tomei, as we're going to see soon, the Torah is memayit tumah from blood. You're only over on blood, you're not over on tomei. By chaylev, you're over on 2. It is a tomei animal, you're right. And you're over on blood, but you're not over on the tomei part. Only one is. Says the Gemara, Menani Mili. How do we know that even by kachi kalim, there's a problem of mi'ilah? So if you were to shecht, kachi kalim is really considered the owners. What's the problem? In order to be over mi'ilah, you have to take from Hashem. So if it's a kachi kachim, it's a oila, it's a chatas, you're taking from Hashem. You're eating Hashem's chaylev, so to speak. You're moyel. You're not allowed to use his stuff. But kachi kalim is really yours, the owners. But at a certain point, it switches from the owners to Hashem. At what point? After you do zrika. Zrika zadam, it switches. Omer B'yanai Omer Kro Kasher Yuram Mishor Zevach Shlomim. Here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this because there's a lot of words. But the point of this printout over here, trust me when I say there's a lot of stuff going on in these psukim. And the Torah describes everything that the Kohen Gadol and Yom Kippur has to do with this animal. It tells you everything, the whole list. It's a huge list. All the way at the end it says, Kasher Yuram Mishor Zevach Shlomim. Just like you should do also like the Shlomim, whatever you do at the Shlomim. But guess what? There's not a single thing that the Torah missed out. There's nothing I can learn from Shlomim. Why is the Torah telling me, do the Kohen Gadol's bull on Yom Kippur like a Shlomim? You went through the whole list. You told me 25 things you need to do. And then at the end, it should be like a Shlomim. Says the Gemara, no, you didn't understand. It's the opposite. You're not comparing Kohen Gadol to Shlomim. You're comparing Shlomim to the Kohen Gadol. You're not learning anything out of Shlomim because the Torah told us all this. There's nothing else that can be added from Shlomim. The only thing that can be added is Shlomim can learn from here. What is Shlomim learning from here? Just like the Kohen Gadol's animal. It's all Mi'ilah. If you use it, it's Mi'ilah. So to Shlomim, which is Kachim Kalim, is also Mi'ilah. Kashayura Mishor Zevach Shlomim. We didn't learn anything new from Shlomim. It seems like it's coming to teach us something that the Kohen Gadol should be like a Shlomim. And it turns out it's actually learning something. We appreciate you every day. Every day is a new appreciation. We take it for granted sometimes. Yeah.
Too much party.
We make a hekish. So if I ask you, how do I know that a kachim kalim, you're over on mi'ilah, on the chaylev, or mi'ilah in general? So one way to do it is from a hekish. A hekish from the power of a Kohen Gadol. Here's the hekish, it says shlomim down here, and here's the whole Kohen Gadol, and whatever the Kohen Gadol has, so does kachim kalim. Ma par koyin Mashiach yesh lebeimila, avshor zelach shlomim yesh beimila. So too shlomim, which is kachim kalim, has mi'ila. Omalei Reb Chanina, and we had this lashon just 2 days ago or so. Ku'uru azu sheshana Rebbe. What? It's disgusting what Rebbe said. You need to come on to a new thing. Rebbe himself said a different limud. Kol chaylev Hashem. It says mefurish in the pasuk, all chaylev, including kachim kalim, goes to Hashem. It's Hashem's. The chaylev that you can't eat is considered Hashem's, and it's me'ilah. The rabbi simuri kachim kalim and the me'ilah. Amar Abaye Yitzrich. I need both limudim. I need the hekesh and I need Rebbe's pasuk of chaylev Hashem. Because the rachmana chaylev have amina chaylev in yoiseres ushtei kloyes. This is also in this week's parasha. Remember, we just read it. Yoiseres. You read the pasuk, you have no idea what it's talking about. Yoiseres, the extra. But those of us who were at the what is a diaphragm? It's an amazing thing if you think about it. In the middle of the animal, there's a dividing wall. It goes from side to side in the animal, and you basically can't get from one side to the other. And all the vital organs are on one side. You have the lung, the liver, the heart, everything's here. And in the back, it's like the whole digestive system. Everything, all the intestines you don't want to see, all the smelly stuff is behind the diaphragm this way. That's the diaphragm. That diaphragm is also, you also have, he was very good. He made an appeal, Yeshua. He said, if anybody has leftover shalach manas, please bring it to the shir. So a couple guys brought stuff. And here you have the chocolates and the cakes.
Is this nicer?
Very good. Yeah, if you don't want to eat stuff like in a month from now from your shop, don't bring it. It's only stuff you want to eat. What is that? That looks like really good chocolate.
Go for it, take a piece.
Wow. Yeah. No, thank you. Pass that up. Usteik loyos and the kidneys. So I would think they're not included because just like over here it talks about the kloyos and the yiseres. So too everything else. You see, it says in here yiseres right here and kloyos. Kitzer, the pasuk talks about everything. When it's going gadol, and that's also what?
You didn't make a different color.
Yeah, whatever. The thing that was important for this, the shlam you read, I should have put yiseres and covered in here and the kloyos. Because okay, so here we have a very interesting thing. We have the fat of the tail. I don't know if you remember, I once brought a picture of a sheep that the tail was down to the ground. And then we found out that the many sheep that are alive today, that we use today, that actually their tail drags on the ground. We just don't know about it because they cut it off like a Doberman Pinscher. They cut it off when they're young. Some species yes, some species not. But it's not like we had a picture of this tail. They used to make like a little wagon for the tail to sit on, it shouldn't drag in the ground. You don't remember the pictures? Fine. I'll go upon him. It's only the tail of the sheep that we put on the mizbeach. It's part of the hakrav. It's part of the korbanos. So the Gemara here says a very interesting thing. On the one hand, it's me'ilah. If you use the chaylev of the tail, it's me'ilah. On the other hand, you're allowed to eat it. It's almost like a contradiction. And why? Because, like we just said, the chaylev is only for sheep, and it's not fair that it's only one animal that goes onto the mizbeach and the other one's not. So in Mela, they're all grouped in one category, and you're allowed to eat them. But at the same time, there's me'ilah. Says the Gemara, and that you learn out from Rebbe's pasuk. That's why you need. Because the Gemara is saying, why do you need two psukim? I need Rebbe's pasuk for this amazing concept in a tail. Because of Rachmana Kasher Yuram, if it wouldn't have Rebbe's drasha, we would only have this whole long Kohen Gadol pasuk. Have amino chaylev al yadalesa b'shar loy. There's no chaylev, or there's no concept of the chaylev of fat in a bull's tail. Because of Rachmana kol chaylev. If a tail is considered chaylev titzabachila, then a bull's tail should also be awesome. Therefore, there's a special pasuk called chaylev shar v'chesev. All three behemoths are included in this pasuk. Davar hashave b'shor v'kesav eis. It has to be something that's equal on all levels in all three animals. And since the tail only applies to a sheep, so mele there's no isser to eat it. Rav Ashi Omar Chelboy ha'al yikri chelev stamelo ikri has another surname Chelboy ha'al, and that's why you can't eat it. El mi'ata le'yimeloba. If that's the case, there shouldn't be me'ila on a bull's tail. So you have to go back to what we just said, that there's a special pasuk, Shor Chesav Eis, to tell us that you could eat it, but at the same time, there's Me'ilah.
Wait, so how could you
Because we have a special pasuk to say you could eat it. No, so if it's a carbon, it's Me'ilah. If it's not, yeah.
Okay.
Look, right, good point. Sorry, I didn't speak it out. If it's a carbon, the chaylev goes and you use the chaylev, you're over. It's Hashem's. But if it's Chullin, I could eat it because it's not chaylev. It's not chaylev deraisa. It's fat, but it's not the chaylev the Torah says you're not allowed to eat. Masha ein came bedam. The Mishnah says these halachas don't apply in blood. There's no mi'ilah, there's no pigul, there's no noisar, and there's no tamei. Minan emili, omar ulo, domar kro lochem. The Gemara is going to bring 3 manda omrim. Each one says another miyut, and we're using all 3 miyutim. Each one for one of the things in the Mishnah. The Mishnah actually has 4 things: mi'ilah, pigul, noisar, tamei. The Gemara is going to bring 3 miyutim because I don't need a miyut for pigul. The Gemara is going to explain. Omar ulo domar kro lochem, shalochem yeh. Okay, the Gemara doesn't say what his drasha goes for. He just has a drasha lachem. The blood is for you to use. It's not Hashem's. It's not kachim, so to speak. It's not Hashem's. You could use it. The Be'er Yishmael Tana lechaper nesativ loy mi'ilah. Another miyut. It's only there to give a kapara and not for you to be over a mi'ilah. Rabbi Yochanan Omar kro hu. The Gemara is going to elaborate on this. Hu means it is as is. Hu like this. What does that mean? The blood has the same halacha as you look at it before the kapara, before you do zrika, and after the zrika. And malacha kapara ein b'mi'ilah. The Gemara is going to explain that it's impossible for blood to have mi'ilah once you finish your mitzvah, because there's nothing else in the Torah that is mi'ilah once you do the mitzvah. You did the mitzvah, it's done, it's over, finished. Now it goes back to human consumption, so to speak. It went from Hashem's. You did the mitzvah with it, it's no longer Hashem's. You already did your job, now it goes back for other people. So if there's no mi'ilah after you throw the blood on the mizbeach, so there's no mi'ilah even before.
Is that because it was kaddish, and then once you did the me'ilah,
Yeah.
now
Once not the mi'ilah, once you did your job, the mitzvah, then the mi'ilah falls away.
of the sprinkling, the krub, and all that?
Yeah. Imagine like
Whatever's left over is
imagine a
yours.
lulav after
Unless
Sukkot.
it's a shlamim or something, or an oila.
If it's a oila, you sprinkle the blood. You have blood in your hand. You sprinkle it on the mizbeach, and now the blood, you don't need it anymore. It's useless.
Whatever's left over.
So whatever's left over, you could use. So if you could use it at that point, then the word "hu" says that it's always in the same category. So since I could use it after I sprinkled it, I could also use it before I sprinkled it. Now we just want to talk about why is it that after you sprinkle it, you could use it. Maybe the opposite. Maybe "hu" means it is as it is, but the reverse. Maybe say, I don't know if there's Mila or not Mila, but maybe I should say there is Mila before, and therefore who tells me that there's Mila even after I sprinkle it? On this the Gemara says, there's a concept in the Torah, once you do the mitzvah, it's over, it's finished, there's no Mila. You can't say, oh, it's Hashem's, I need it for Hashem. I don't need it for Hashem anymore. Hashem, I did what I needed to do for Hashem. I sprinkled it on Mizbeach. Now it's just Chullin. It goes back to Chullin. No, I think. What's Trumas Hadeshen? I was so excited. I was able to bring this thing out again. Bringing it back. Remember, every single day we use this.
Upside down.
Upside down. We're here, right over here. There's a little square. I don't know if you can see, but every single morning a car will go up Mizbeach, take one shovel full of the ashes from the day before and pour it right over here. And miraculously, every single day there's a nest, it will dissolve into the ground. A whole shovel full, disappear. That's Trumas Hadeshin. But the job is done already. It's already burnt. It's already ashes. Yet, the Torah says there's Me'ilah, you can't use it. So you see, there is a concept of Me'ilah after I did my job.
Isn't that itself a separate mitzvah? Trumas Hadeshin.
Yeah,
And therefore that is the job to be done.
I hear, but it's like, in terms of the meat, in the terms of, I did my car, we just said, so you're saying the Torah is undoing it. The Torah undoes the
You
thing.
get a new mitzvah on a new product.
On a new product. Wow. I hear.
No, before you.
Before. As you're pouring it. I hear. It's a good shiloh. I hear what you're saying. Mishum dahavet trumas hadeshen ubig day kunish neksuma b'em kechad. Guess what? It's not only trumas hadeshen. There's another thing, and since there's two things, the clothing of the Kohen Gadol that he wears on Yom Kippur he can't use forever. Once he's done with the job, he doesn't use it again. The job is over. The Begadim did their job one time in Yom Kippur. Yet if you were to wear it on as a costume or something on Purim, you're over Me'ilah. So you see, even though the job is done, you're over Me'ilah. But here's the good thing. Since there's two times in the Torah, so I can't learn blood from it. Those are very special things. Trumas Hadeshen and Big Dikuna. So I have two things, and I cannot learn out blood. And Memela blood is mutter to use after you finish using it. According to Rabbi Doisa, I could use the begadim. A regular kohen hedyot could use the begadim all year long. The only thing you can't do with it, Benicham Sham is telling us, don't use these begadim for the next Yom Kippur. But they're usable for another kohen. So really now I only have one thing. If I have one thing, maybe I should learn blood out of it. No, I have another thing. Either three things or two things, but I have psukim, mefurish psukim that tell us that it's different by Egla Arufa, that there's Me'ilah even after I cut off its head. The obvious, the follow through of every single time the Gemara brings the Shnei Ksum Abam Ke'echad. Trei miutik sivi. There's in those two psukim of Egla Rufa and Trumas Hadeshen, it says Ksiv Samai Hasam Ksiv Ha'arufa. So it says Dafke in these two psukim, after the job is over, you're still over on Me'ilah. But other things such as blood, once the job is over, you're not over on Me'ilah.
Only on blood you're not.
Everything in the Torah, once the job is done,
Only on these three you are.
only in these three you are. Everything else, once the job is over, you're not over on Me'ilah. So why do you need the three psukim that we brought before, who, etc.? Three out of the four things brought down in the Mishnah are excluded from these three psukim. Noisar, Tuma, and Me'ilah. I don't need a pasuk. It's not. Going back to Zvachim brings back memories. What's a matter? The matter is the final act of the whole carbon. You do shchita, kabbalah, ilacha, zrika. Zrika is the final thing. Zrika is matter. It makes the whole carbon kosher. Everything becomes, that's the matter. So in order to make pigul, I need a matter afterwards. But what about the matter itself? What about the blood itself? The blood itself cannot become pigul. Now, what?
A matter is someone who, when the Rosh Chaber isn't here, takes it.
Who? The matter, your matter, okay.
No.
What? Menachem is a matter?
His last name is Matter.
Oh. Kimat.
The dam gufe materu, the dam itself is matter.
Is the final act of a carbon. The final act of the carbon can't be part of a pigul. In order to have pigul, you need something to come afterwards.
It's not material.
It's not No, what's a matter? Matter means the final. Blood doesn't have a matter. Blood is the matter. Blood is the final thing. You have 4 steps. Shchita, Kabbalah, Hilacha, Zrika. In order to do pigul, I have to have something final. And we always say, okay, you have the blood after I do the pigul. But blood is the thing, so I can't make blood the pigul. Okay. That's it. That's why there's no pigul in blood. And so I don't need a special pasuk to say that there's no pigul in blood.
I'm surprised how much they say it.
Say what? What are you guys talking about? Now we can just schmooze because we have plenty of time. We're going to go now into the tumah of food. So in order, I heard somebody say, "Oy vey, it's geschmack stuff, gewaltige stuff." No, seriously, it's not a big deal. We're already used to all this. It's not like something new. When it comes to food, to be susceptible to tumah, you need the shear of a kibbetza. What if you don't have a kibbetza? You're missing from the shear. Can you add other items, product of the animal, to combine it to a shear? Says the Mishnah, yes. Ha'oir.
Other items that are not tumah.
Right. So these are items, each one we'll see. These are items that on their own, if you take a kibbetza of skin, of hide, it's not metama. But if you take it together, we just had this when it came to the sinews we had it where? In Iver Menachai maybe. Iver Menachai. You need a kazayas of meat, but if you don't have a full kazayas of meat, I could use the sinews. But sinews themselves are not Iver Menachai. Give them at Tzamos. And that's the same concept right over here. I take a handful, a kazayas, a kibbetza full of hide, it's not metama, it's nothing. But if I have meat in there, and I don't have a full kibbetza, and I add a little bit of hide, it's fine. Now I have a kibbetza.
And it's tummy.
It's tummy. Now what is Now we go into beautiful concepts of shomer and yad. We're not going to talk about yad today, but it's very easy. Shomer means a protector. What's a protector on an animal? The hide, the skin. And what's a protector on an apple? The skin. So the peel. So these protectors are able to combine to tumah. And also a yad. A yad, a great example, is a pulki. You're holding onto a bone, and at the end of the bone you have meat, and you eat whatever you don't eat. It's a handle. A handle is also mitzdaref to tumah. Just, we'll see. There's one nafkamina between a handle and the shomer, but it's all, if the bone, at the end of the bone has meat, and it touches something else, so that something else becomes tamei. Or if something that's tummy touches the bone, then the whole meat becomes tummy. That's a shomer. We're talking about a shomer here. Oir is a shomer. Roitev is gravy. The gravy is not metama on its own, but together with the meat, it's metama. Vakipa is the sediments. Very interesting. Rashi brings tavlin. I thought it's more like sediments of this. He says spices. The olol we're going to see in the Gemara, but basically sediments in the pot. The olol is when you cut into the meat and it hits the hide, so you have these little pieces of meat that pop off, that come off, that are just strands of meat. So they're not really considered meat because they're like attached or they came off with the skin. But if you need to make a shear, they're mitzdaref to your shear. V'atzamos. This is interesting. If you just to read what?
They shouldn't be mitzdaref.
Because you don't consider them as meat usually. They're like part of the skin. They're like with the skin.
That's
I guess we'll see in the Gemara olol.
Olol.
Yeah.
Olol. That's what you just said.
Right. And the next thing is that samais. It's not as simple as you read it. It doesn't mean just bones. It means if you want to use the bone marrow as you're considering the bone marrow as your meat, so the hard part of the bone, the protector of the marrow, the shomer of the marrow, is mitzdaref to the marrow. We're not talking about a bone being mitzdaref to a steak. We're talking about the bone around the marrow inside is mitzdaref. That's how Rashi learns it. I guess we'll see it. What?
The bone of the ribeye is not mitzvah.
No, because it doesn't have marrow.
That's how Rashi says it over here. We have to see the Gemara.
There's no marrow in those bones.
This is ingredient for good children.
Ve'agidin and sinews are by them on their own. They're not metama, but together to the meat with the meat it's mitzdaref. V'karnayim. And if you have horns. Now here Rashi says, very important, that it's not referring to the hard horn at the end of the horn. It's referring to the part of the horn that's closest to the body that's bleedy, that's bloody.
Rashi isn't just explaining why tzamas are considered a shomer, because it's shomer on the mo.
That's why it's shomer.
It's started with anything. Because now you're creating a funny situation. It's going to be a shomer for some.
No,
If
but-
you consider the muffin, it's not going to be a shomer for. It's
I
not
don't know.
gonna be a shomer.
I'm assuming, I didn't see it, I'm assuming you
No,
got it from the
Rashi-
Gemara. We have to,
Rashi says it's also only because it's somewhat edible, meaning it's soft enough to.
what,
stay
the
eaten.
bone itself? No, the marrow.
The marrow, the
Right.
bottom of the
Then
bone. We're
just
talking about
create
the
a
bottom of the
fila
bone.
in the etzem. If I'm going to eat it for the mo, so that's considered. If I'm not, then it's not considered.
I didn't read Rashi like that, but okay. I guess we'll look into it. Vat lofaim. So karnaim, you hear what karnaim is. Karnaim is the bloody part of the keren, the part that's closest to the animal. I guess it's softer. It makes more sense that it's mitzaref as meat. How could you take this horn that kills other animals? Right? You watch this video of a buffalo trying to protect its kid. The lion attacks it. It goes like this. It sends the lion flying 40 feet. How could that be mitzaref to your meat? So Rashi says, we're not talking about that part. We're talking about all the way by its head, that if you to remove it where it connects and it's bloody, I guess it's softer. Has more of a halacha of meat. Fatlofayim and its hooves. Again, Rashi says it's considered a shomer. Zok the Mishnah. Mitzdarvim letame tumas ochlim, avaloi tumas nevelois. Nevela is much more chomerdika tuma. Nevela is metama, a person and kalim, and therefore these things are not mitzdarif to the shear of nevela to create a shear. You need real meat. Kayotze, and here's an incredible halacha. Hashoichet behemot tmeya. If you have 4 conditions, says the Mishnah, I'll say about peh, because it's a very, very interesting halacha. Imagine this. If you'd never believe this, if you didn't hear this in the Mishnah, you'd never know this halacha. If I take a shechita knife and I cut a pig, I shecht a pig. Could I shecht a pig? No. The Mishnah says you could. There's hilchas shechita in a pig for one thing, and that's the chiddush of the Mishnah. I could take. If I killed a pig, I wouldn't have this halacha. I have to shecht the pig, and I have to be Jewish, shechting the pig. A guy can't shecht the pig, and a Jew can't do nechira to the pig. It has to be mamish shecht the 2 simonim. If I do all that, so that moment from shechita until it actually dies, let's say it takes 2 minutes for it to completely die, so in those 2 minutes, it's susceptible to tumah. When it's alive, a live animal can't be tummy. When it's dead, there's nothing more tummy than a treif chazer, dead. In between those 2 minutes, while it's jumping around and moving, then if it's touched by a sheretz, it's tummy tuma soichlin. Amazing halacha that ayidei shchita with a kosher knife and a kosher shaychet, I could accomplish this. That it could be mitam other things. If something touched it, it becomes tummy to be tam.
If it was an ohel, it could be matama, the things under it.
In those 2 minutes, for those 2 minutes, what?
Right? If it was like an ohel, it could.
No, oil is not. That's only by a dead person, not by a yeah.
And if a guy would do the shechita, then
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work because you need to make it. How does it work? You need to make it. You need to make it food, and only you, the Jew, can make it food through shechita because shechita doesn't apply to a guy.
You have to check the simonim first to see if it's
No, because even if it's not good, it had shechita. I think.
In as much as it's demanding a shechita.
Let's see it inside, and then we'll jump into Rashi because we have 2 minutes. We can see Rashi inside to believe this. Kayotze boy. Similarly, Hashoichet behemot tmeya. Reuben was kedai to come just for this. It's one halacha. Hashoichet behemot tmeya. You shecht a pig. Lo'ivik gechavim for a guy. Or if Arkesa is jumping around, mitam et tumas oichlim. Avaloi tumas nevelois. It becomes a nevela, achetomus, or achiyatas is roish. If you chop off its head, and it's not a real shechita, then it's mitam et tumas nevela. This really doesn't have much of a chiddush. Riba letamet tumas oichlim and masha riba letamet tumas nevelos. There's more tuma things that are with food than with nevela. Rabbi Yehuda Omer ha'olal ha'mechunas. If you take that olal, whatever it is, those little pieces of meat that come off the knife when you're cutting the skin, you cut through the skin, those little pieces. If you gather a full kazayas, and now I consider it meat for myself, so now I consider it meat, I consider it nevela, becomes nevela for everything. Chayev olav. If you touch this nevela, you're tameh, you go into Beis Hamikdash, you chayev kares. Now, let's just see Rashi real quickly. Hashoiche behema tmei lenachri.
Then Allah has a regular din of basar.
If you consider it, if you put it together and make it a kazayas, then it's
different than any other piece of basar. Any basar, if it's less than a kazayis, it's also not going to be metamen. Once it's a kazayis, it's metamen. Now you tell me Allah is the same thing. Once
according to Rabbi Yehuda. According to Rabbi Yehuda.
So Allah is a regular piece
Okay. According to Rabbi Yehuda.
Which Rashi?
Hashoiche behema tmei lenachri. It's basically like where it starts becoming wide lines. First wide line. Hashoiche behema tmei lenachri. Dafka Yisrael, only a Jew shechting. V'dafka shchita, only the process of shchita. V'dafka tmei and dafka a non-kosher animal. V'dafka lenachri. So you have to have these four conditions. Yisrael sheshachat behema tmei letzorich nachri. He did it for a guy. Voidim farkeses and jumping around. Avagav delichaz lenachri. Even though the guy can't eat it because the b'misa talia milsav v'neinayach, right? We learned this, that for a Jew, the moment you shecht it, it becomes roy for a Jew. A Jew can bite into it even though it's jumping around midaraisa. Midarabbanan, you're not supposed to. It's not Ever Menachai, even though it's still technically somewhat alive. A guy, there's no shchita by a guy. So a guy would be over Ever Menachai until it's completely dead. The big chiddush is since the Jew shechted it, so it's considered shchita. So therefore his das works. Incredible chiddush. His das creates food out of this animal. But if a guy did the same thing, there's no shchita by a guy. And also if Yisrael cut the animal top to bottom from his chin down to his stomach instead of going side to side, then he didn't make it food. A Jew doesn't have the concept of nechira, only a guy does. Fine. Atkan, that's Rashi. Let's see the end of the Gemara. This concept of shmira of a peel and the skin works for the lighter tumah, but not for the stronger tumah of nevela. Shomer l'tumah kalam and olan. What? Yeah. Shomer l'tumah kalam and olan. The Tanya the Be'er B'Shmal Akol Zera Zerua. The seeds that you plant, Keder Shebnei Adam Moitzim L'Zriya. Chita b'klipasa, soy b'klipasa, a wheat with its peel, with its husk. You don't start separating the husk off the wheat. V'adoshem b'klipasa, v'loi shomer l'tumah chamura menolan the Tanarabana b'nivlasa, as is in its meat. V'loi ba'or she'ein alav kazai.